Hello, everyone. Let me move the camera over here. So, anyway, hello, everyone. This is John Jenkins, and the title of this video, I don't know what the title of this video is, but the subject of this video is, ways in which black conservatives, ways in which black conservatives hamstring themselves, ways in which black conservatives, shoot themselves in the foot, or hinder their own progress. Ways that black conservatives hinder their own progress. That might be the best title for this video. But anyway, ways that black conservatives hurt themselves in their messaging. And I got this. So basically, the first black conservative book I ever read was called "Stupid Black Men" by Larry Elder. I read it about 18 years ago, 18 or 19 years ago, and basically the premise of the book. Hold on a sec. Hold on a sec. So let me show you my Audible. So this is my Audible library. So the very first thing in here, the latest book I bought was Larry Elder, Stupid Black Men. So I read the physical book the first time. I read the physical book. It was a hardcover book. Uh, so, but I recently decided to buy the audiobook because I really miss. This was the book that turned me in from a. I was the biggest Democrat in world history, and this is the book that turned me into a Republican. So you can see I got Larry Elder's Larry, this picture of Larry Elder's. It's a really old book. Obviously, it's a really old book. If I read it for the first time in 2006, 2007. So it's a really old book. Anyway, I have not rated it yet. So anyway, back to what I was saying. So basically, the premise of a Stupid Black Man is that basically what the book is saying is that 98% of the problems in the black community come from black men playing the race card. And basically, what the book is saying is that black men have to take responsibility because we're the men of the community. We're the men of the community. So we have to take responsibility and not play the race card every second, stuff like that. But to get straight to the point. So the book goes over the Don Imus thing, the situation, the Michael Richards situation, all these different situations in history. It goes over the issues with Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, and Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, all the different racial issues that have come up, the NAACP, the Urban League, all these different black organizations. So it's gone over the various situations. It even touches on the Israel Palestine situation. So anyway, so he's basically saying that. Basically, to get straight to the point, the issue that I was bringing up was that vast majority. I mean, if you look at the big three: Thomas Sowell, Larry Elder, and Walter Williams. Even if you look at somebody like D. Roy Murdoch, all of them started. Even if you look at Bill Cosby, all of them started off as liberals. They all started off as Democrats. They were all voting for Democratic politicians. They all believed in liberal policies. They were all. I mean, Thomas Sowell. All the big three that I just mentioned. They were all stumping for liberalism. They all believed in the liberal ideology, and so the problem that black conservatives always get into is when they get caught up in a question of semantics. Basically, what black conservatives always say that always comes back to bite them is that when I was 18 years old back in 1960 or whatever, when I was 18 years old back in 1960, and the white police officer shot me, or the white police officer, or the white business owner sicked his dogs on me, or the white firefighter turned his hose on me. When I was getting clubbed and hosed and dogs sicked on me and stuff like that, when it was happening to me back in 1960, that was real racism. Real racism. So basically, what happened in 1960 was real racism, and everything that happened after 1968, basically everything that happened after MLK was assassinated was fake racism, basically. So basically, black conservatives always get themselves caught up in this thing where they're always bringing racism onto the table and then pulling it back, and they're bringing up the racism that happened to them when they were young, and then they bring it back and say, oh, no one past 1968 has experienced any racism. And to get to the point, the reason why that's a bad idea is that the reason why that plays into the hands of the Democrats is because if it weren't for the fact that racism is real, if it weren't for the fact that there is adversity in life, if it weren't for the fact that bad things happen to people, if it weren't for the fact that that racism does occur in real life, there's no way that any black person would ever vote for a Republican. There is, if it hadn't been for my personal experience with gang stalking and with various races and the school to prison pipeline, stuff like that, if it hadn't been for the racial disparities that I had experienced personally in the criminal justice system, there's no way in the world that I would ever vote for any Republican, much less Donald Trump. If I didn't know for a fact in my heart that racism was real, there's no way on earth that I would ever think in my life that it would be a good idea to vote for Donald Trump. So the only reason why any black conservative exists in the first place is because racism is real. It's because adversity exists. Adversity exists. At the very least, it's because adversity exists. And what I'm saying here is that if there were no adversity in life, if it were even possible to just write a check and solve everyone else's problems without having to deal with the problems of writing checks indiscriminately, if it were actually possible to just write an infinity check and just give it to everyone and just have them all be the richest people in the world, if that were even possible, then every single person in modern history would be a Democrat. If there were no adversity in life, every American president from the first to the most recent would have been named Kamala Harris. If it were true that there was no adversity in life, that it was not necessary to overcome adversity and be responsible and solve your problems, things of that nature, then every president in American history would have been named Kamala Harris. So the only reason why black conservatism exists is because racism is real. And if you actually study the big three, Larry Elder, Walter Williams, Thomas Sowell, they all say that when I was younger, racism was real. But the second that I got rich, the second that I got my first big break, racism became fake. And but like I said, I'm not saying that we should. I'm not saying we should play the race card. I'm saying that we should just so basically the issue that the issue that's at the heart of this, the issue is that's at the heart of this is that you know black liberals and black conservatives are saying the same exact thing. Which is what I'm trying to say. Black liberals and black conservatives are saying the same thing, which is what I'm trying to say, which is that black liberals say that racism was real today. It was fake before 1968, and black conservatives are saying that racism is fake today and it was real before 1968. Basically, the problem is that both sides, black liberals and black conservatives, tend to see white people as being God, and this is gonna sound strange, but it's true because both black liberals and black conservatives, they see white people as being these like omniscient, omnipotent, omnipresent, infallible beings. It's like black liberals think that whites actually have the power. Black liberals think that whites actually have the power to hold them down indefinitely, whereas black conservatives see black conservatives tend to see white people as being Jesus Christ. But I mean, I'm not lying. So they both sides see white people as being God, but black liberals see whites as being a vengeful God or an evil God, whereas black conservatives see white people as being a benevolent God. And it plays. If you just go back to the old debates, you would see the old the old debates you would see between Larry Elder and the liberal of the week. Larry Elder would or debate these low level liberals on TV continually, and they talk at each other. They say things at each other, but they're really saying two different versions of the same thing. They both see white people as having these like supernatural qualities that make them above everyone else, and that's the heart of what I'm trying to get to. Both. I guess you could say that I guess it's part of the culture because in Western society, Jesus and God are both regularly depicted as being Anglo-Saxons. So Jesus and God are both regularly depicted as being blonde-haired, blue-eyed Anglo-Saxons. And if you've been growing up with that since you were a child, if you've been growing, if that was the first, if you were literally, if the first memory you have is being baptized as an infant in a church and looking up and seeing a blonde-haired, blue-eyed Jesus, then whether you turn out to be liberal or conservative, that image is going to stay with you. So the thing is that white people are not God. I mean, white people are not God. They are complete. They are just like every human being on the face of the planet, just like every human being in history, going back to ancient Africa, just like every human being in history of humanity, white people are short-term focused. They're not white people are not thinking about what's going to help them 50 years from now, 100 years from now, 200 years from now. They're going to think what's going to help me by the end of the week, or at the most by before the first of the next month, before the rent's due on the first the next month. That's what white people are thinking about. They are completely short-term focused. They are completely fallible. They are not omniscient. They are not omnipotent. They are not omnipresent. And as all you have to do is watch the Trump administration to understand that whenever whites pretend to be God, that's usually when bad stuff starts happening. So yeah, that's what, I mean, maybe, uh, it's a pretty long video that I made. So yeah, but I just wanted to get that off my chest. And yeah, so that those are the ways that black conservatives really hurt themselves in their messaging. And uh, this thing where you can't be a black conservative unless you were 100% perfect since birth. Uh, Larry Elder has been arrested before. Thomas Sowell has been arrested before. Walter Williams was arrested before. Obviously, Bill Cosby was arrested before. So you don't have to be perfect to be a black conservative. I mean, hey, if I want if I want to be a Republican, I can be a Republican. I don't have to be perfect to be a Republican. None of the black conservatives that are prominent in society are perfect, and white people are not perfect. But they're also not. They also don't have this otherworldly power to keep everyone down. So they're not perfect, but they're also not the source of all black people's problems. So I do plan on finishing this audiobook, Stupid Black Men. So it'll be the third time that I finish the book. And I still read a lot of black conservative literature. So, well, thank you everyone for your help and for your undying love and support. Have a great day and goodbye.